X-Men Dark Phoenix marca el fin de casi 20 años de películas del universo X-Men. Hola, soy Lucas y acompáñame a ver parte de la entrevista que le realicé a Sophie Turner durante su gira promocional por Latinoamérica. Hi Sophie, I'm Lucas, nice to meet you. Sophie, would you say that besides being a superhero story, this could also be considered as a psychological thriller?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the great kind of movement that's happening in superhero movies right now is not only inclusivity, but also all of the superhero movies kind of have their own subgenre. And so, like Logan was kind of a Western. This one is kind of like a, psychological thriller / family drama. So it's really cool to be a part of superhero movies, while they're changing so much and evolving.
If you could grab a cup of coffee with Jen, what advice would you give to her?
I would probably tell her to try and stay in control of your emotions. I'd probably tell her, just remember, it's difficult because all these supernatural, incredibly powerful things are happening to her, but try and remember your family, the X-Men, how much that has meant to you, how much this foundation that you've built with, your kind of companions has meant to you, and try to not be fazed by this crazy phoenix power that's inside of her. But obviously it's not that easy, as you will see.
What do you think is the main difference between Dark Phoenix and the other movies we've seen from the X-Men universe?
Well, the difference, there's a lot of differences. I think the main difference is, as I kind of said, this movie is far more character-driven, more emotional, more grounded, more gritty. As I said, kind of more of a family drama, psychological thriller than a superhero film. And the past kind of iteration of Jean Grey in The Last Stand was great, but it was a subplot. And the thing that we really wanted to do and what we felt this kind of storyline needed was for it to be the main plot. And so that was something that we felt quite strongly about. It's one of the most beloved storylines in kind of the X-Men comic universe, and so it was really important for us to do justice to that story.
How difficult is it to play a character that kind of swings between good and evil?
Well, I think one of the things about this character that a lot of people kind of think is that Jean is kind of two people, like a split personality. She's good and she's evil, and that's just, it's actually not the case with this movie. It's very much about this girl who has a lot of inner turmoil, and she's incredibly conflicted because it's not that this Phoenix Force makes her kind of switch over into this whole new person. It's actually very different. It's a good-hearted woman who has kind of been filled with this Phoenix Force that is kind of burning to get out. It's desperate to get out. It feels so good when she lets it out. But when she does that, it manifests in very destructive ways. And so it's kind of like this moral dilemma that she has of, and Jessica's character kind of highlights that for her is, do you want to kind of sit and obey a man in a chair and just be a good little girl for the rest of your life? Or do you want to embrace this thing that is you and makes you powerful, and be who you're supposed to be? And so it's this conflict that she's dealing with, but she is by no means good nor evil.
How would you describe the current female superhero landscape and their on-screen representation?
We're in a really good place right now, I think, especially coming off Dark Phoenix. I feel really confident that this movie is kind of everything that I wanted and that the audience really demanded. Audiences, it's statistical. Audiences demand female-led movies. The statistics are there. They do better with a female lead. And so I feel like it's just about time that we're really kind of embracing these women being the leads, but not only leads, being seen as superheroes. And not just superheroes, but flawed superheroes, real people, real women. When I read this script, it was kind of like a feast for me. It was everything that I had wanted in a character. You know, it was every single thing that kind of checked all the boxes. But I do think, you know, we have a long way to go. I think steps are being made. I think, you know, the more women at the forefront, you know, that would be great. The more Asian people, the more, you know, black people, the more just inclusivity is so key, and to represent them in not kind of a token way of having, you know, the wife and the receptionist and all of that. It's, I think moves are being made, but we have a long way to go. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the industry changes from here on out.
How would you describe X-Men in 3 words, and what has it meant to you in a personal and professional level?
So the words that I would use to describe Dark Phoenix would be emotional, exciting, and great fight scenes. And I mean, for me as an actor, to be part of a legacy like X-Men is just so. It's such an honor, you know. The comics have been around for so many years, and so many people have loved them, that we have, you know, such passionate fans. And then so many actors have come and portrayed these roles in one way or another, whether it be the animated series or these movies, and the older versus younger actors playing the same characters. I mean, there's been so many wonderful people, wonderful writers, directors attached to the X-Men world, and to be a part of that, and to be a part of, you know, movies that have a comment on society in terms of discrimination. You know, throughout X-Men, there's been the subject of discrimination, and how these people are kind of shunned from society because of these differences, these things that make them unique. And they realize that once they embrace those differences and embrace those individual strange things about them, they can become very empowered by those things. And I think that's such an amazing message, and it's definitely influenced a lot of people's childhoods, I think, in the way that they see the world. And so I just count myself incredibly lucky to be a part of it. It's so fucking cool.
Esto fue todo lo que sucedió en la entrevista con Sophie Turner, y no se pierdan X-Men el próximo 6 de junio en todas las salas de cines de Panamá.
Something's happening to me. When I lose control, bad things happen. But it feels good.
That power destroyed everything it ever came into contact with. Until you. The X-Men fear you. And what they fear,
We seek to destroy.
She'll kill us all. The girl dies.
She's still our friend. She's not Jean anymore.
Are you threatening me?
That's right.